Hey, John. Huh? What made you think his deer were over there again?
Hey, just hold it straight up.
I mean,
every day with a bow and arrow, and you get out there in the thick of the thing, you know where the deer are.
Alright, welcome back to another Recruit Creative live stream. Today it's shotgun season here in Illinois. We've got the Orange Army out and about. And for us today it's going to be Charlie Zeigler and Travis Carlock. Our other hunters are out of town or have got other things going on. So these two are in the tree early. And it looks like Travis has already got a little bit of action going on. But if you would, guys, go ahead and smash that like button down at the bottom. It helps us get this video out there. Put in the comments where you're watching this stream from. We love interacting with people. We love seeing where y'all are from. And don't ever be shy to ask a question in the chat. We'll try our best to answer it.
What are we here to do? We're here to kill. We are the Orange Army. Everybody's killed but us. Oh, but me. You killed yours yesterday. All of our shooters are dying. Are you recording? Yeah. Oh. All of our shooters are dying at a rapid rate. So, I literally had 2 shooters on my other farm, and they both got killed. So, we're gonna shoot the first spike bug that walks by and call it a day. I'm the only person you know that watches 150 and 5.5-year-old deer at 15 yards waiting on a dead deer. Tough. That was disrespectful is what that was. It was absolutely disrespectful.
I don't know if you all can tell, but from what it sounds like, it's extremely quiet out there this morning, and the crows are in the background going absolutely nuts, which makes it kind of a nightmare in a filming perspective. I mean, you've got that noise in the background the whole time, and it will wear on you after a while. So hopefully those crows either get shot or shut the front door. It looks like Charlie's went ahead and moved his stand from last week. We were talking to him earlier, and he's trying to get on the thicker side of the drain where this 12-pointer from last year kept showing up, and showed up the other day, last week's stream. He showed up, and you'll hear him referring to him as a 10 now. And that's what happened to the deer. I guess he went downhill. They were thinking he was young last year. He shows up this year looking a bit older, might have fooled him last year, and he looks like he's lost several inches this year. I don't know what the cause of that would be. I don't know if he's just having a kind of a year where he doesn't do much, and then maybe next year he's going to blow up. But last year he was a 12. This year it looks like he's a 10. We'll go ahead and try to pull some of those pictures up here on the stream if we can get them. And there they are. You can see them. Yeah, he was looking pretty good last year, other than he got broke off a few times from what Charlie's telling me, and they weren't able to put him on the ground. So they kind of dialed him in last year. Knew the ridge he liked, and last weekend they tried to sit on the same side of the drain as they had been, and once again he shows up in the same spot. So it looks like they've moved this stand across, hoping to get more in his bedroom here, and we'll see if it pays off today.
It could come right here. We passed a 2-3 there last night right there.
All right, let's go over here to Charlie and see if we can't get a little bit of an update. Hey, did you hear many shots yesterday?
Slow, not much shooting anywhere. 10 shots all day, probably close, but today's another day, we'll see. Not real confident, but we hunted here last week, had that sleepy deer here, Sleepy Joe. He bounces around this brush pile right here, so, you know, we're hoping deer come off this hill and feather through this little gap right here. It's the only way for 100 yards around this brush pile, so kind of sitting right on top of him, but with a gun, we figured don't have much of a choice. There's not many good trees. Hopefully the 3 trees together will break us up. So. 16 degrees. Keep your ears. They like to come in straight north. Straight north. I had one yesterday come, a big doe come and go. She went right here, went right up through there and took by herself. So. Maybe she's coming in to eat, I don't know. Or following it that way. It's dead calm, I know that. No breeze anywhere.
Can you all see the what's up there at the top of Travis's camera? Is that a blackbird? I'm not really sure what's going on there. I was playing with it. It's definitely the microphone. I've had this several times. It's an editing nightmare, but that's part of it. When you get into live streams, you can't fake that, you know. You've got the blackbird in the top of the viewfinder, and sometimes those things go unnoticed, but it's just part of it. I'd rather have the audio and know that bird sitting up there than not be able to hear a thing. And speaking of microphones, it looks like it's battery changing time again for Charlie. Not sure why. It seems like on all these lives we're always swapping batteries out over here, but that's one of the terrible things about hunting in the cold weather. You're always swapping batteries left and right on your cameras and on your microphones. It's just they get ate up pretty quick out there in the cold. So hey, if any of you battery companies are watching this, why don't you send us some batteries to test out? We'd be happy to promote them a little bit. Well, I mean, that's except for Dollar General. Just Dollar General, keep your batteries. We do not want them. They are garbage. and it sounds like the blackbirds are on their way in. Maybe they are moving from, well, they're not moving from Travis's camera, but they might be getting ready to get on the Charlie's camera. Here we go. Man, that's loud. It looks like both of these guys are doing a little bit of scrolling on their phones. The action's been pretty slow here for the first 20 minutes. Do you guys try to stay off of your phones when you're in the stand, or, I mean, what do you do to pass your time? Is it Snapchat? Is it Instagram? Are you running your phone battery dead? I mean, I know a lot of us try to stay off of it, but it's addicting. I mean, I think we're all addicted. It'd probably be better if we left it at the house, but you always want to have it with you just for safety purposes. You never know when something's going to go wrong and you might need a lifeline there, but it seems like a lot of trail cam pictures getting checked, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing if you're getting pictures at a different property. But let us know, what do you guys use your phone for in the stand?
I figured out why you're cold. Why? Because it's 17 degrees and it feels like it's 8. It definitely does feel like it's 8. That is a fact. My toes feel like little ice cubes. I really love hunting in like 50 degree weather. If it could just stay like 50, that'd be cool. Not a fan of 17 feels like 8. Not cool. Get your man China a little cold, don't it? Yeah, it does. I just want them for 2 of them. In the same morning. On the same property on top of that. What do you think the chances are that that buck had both brow tines and we just couldn't see it in that picture? 0. About 90 to 100 yards. I don't know what it is. It looks like a doe. Right, the limbs on the screen is going down. No, it's coming at us, I think. Oh, okay, that one's going that way. It's facing us, at least. It's right. It's on the right side of this dead tree. That's probably on the left side for you. Dear Jason. You see him? Up the buck. I see him. It's a pretty good buck.
hopefully the action is starting to pick up here. You can see Charlie had what sounded like to be a young buck and maybe a doe on the ridge across from him. We'll go ahead and jump over here to Travis as he's got one working in. Let's go ahead and check in here with Travis and ask him a few questions. Hey Travis, can you tell us a little bit about the farm you're hunting and if you've got any shooters on the property?
This is a 40 acre piece. It is basically just a big thicket. It's, as you'll be able to see behind us in a second, it's nothing but Russian olives. And, pretty much, it's not a big briar patch or anything, so that's nice, but it's just got a bunch of Russian olives, a bunch of cover, a bunch of bedding, and there's ag fields all around it. But what makes this farm so good is there's a 1,500 acre farm right there that's very well managed. So we don't get much from this the first year I've hunted it, but from running cameras and stuff so far, it seems like it's just going to be just a real good rut farm. I don't know if it's how good it's going to be come late season. Early season there wasn't very much going on here, but during the rut it seems like these bucks keep coming in and out of here checking does. We've had a couple mature deer, no big giants or nothing yet, but we had a pretty good one yesterday, just right up the hill here on camera. We're not real sure how big he is, but he's probably the biggest one we've had pictures of so far. But luckily my buddy lets us hunt this. It's in a real good spot, but other than that, there ain't really much to it. Just gonna be a good rut spot. A bunch of does live in here. It's thick. It'll be hard to hunt because you don't really get to see them coming from very far, and you don't have a whole lot of shot options. But just have to do with it what you can. Next year it'll be a little better. We're just now learning how to hunt it and where we need stands, and it's got a big funnel coming out of these two bean fields right in here. So when me and Chris come in here and hung these stands, we hung one on each side of it to play the wind. We don't even have nothing back in the middle of this place yet, but this spring we're going to try to do a little clearing, maybe get in there with a skid steer or something, push some trees back and try to get us a food source in there, maybe kind of help funnel where the does are going to go. Because there's really, on that side there's that funnel that comes into here, but once they get in here there's nowhere to really funnel them down and hunt them. You're just kind of guessing, and we kind of set up on these trails, hoping, you know, they would want to walk these trails maybe, but that didn't happen. They'd rather stay in that thick stuff, but you catch them popping in and out of it. We've seen some, you know, real good young deer, so hopefully, you know, they get to stick around and see what they'll be next year. But you know, we just got a 40-acre piece competing with a guy that's got 1,500 acres. You know, we're just pretty much taking whatever, you know, wants to come over here. We don't get to hunt the good stuff, the good part of it, but it's still gonna be pretty good though. I think once we, you know, another year, once we figure out how to really hunt this, I think this will be a real good place to kill a good one. But we got to looking on the maps last time we was hunting here. On the other side of the farm, there's a creek that comes into it that's going to be a pretty good, decent funnel, so we'll get a stand up on it. And next year, like I said, we'll get some food put in here, stand set up a little different, and I think it'd be pretty good. These are cold. God, it has been slow this morning. We've seen, I don't know, probably 6 does, a little spike buck. That's been it. And there's nothing for gunshots. We've heard maybe a handful. Nothing real close. You would think it'd be a lot better morning being as cold as it is, but I'm not sure what's going on. Could be the fact that everybody and their brother is in the woods right now. There was probably 40,000 gunshots yesterday, so might have them stirred up a little bit. So this area probably isn't too bad with this big farm being out here. I think these deer are a lot less pressured. She smells. She probably should. That's the way the land's built.
It has been a slow morning here in southern Illinois. Not much shooting going on at all. These two don't sound like they're real excited about the day as far as movement goes. Let's go ahead and ask Charlie. Hey, how many have you seen so far? Has it been tough?
3 this morning. There goes. There she's going back. She acts like she's probably going to bed right here. She's probably getting a little with us, but there's 3 of them. That's one attack. Keep on. come in from the southwest. Our wind's blowing down there. So. There's hunting pressure all around. You'd think something would end up in there.
Have you laid your eyes on the Big Ten since the last live stream when we checked in on you?
No. I don't know where he's at, whether he, I don't know, he acted like he didn't like it, so. He's old too, so he may not come back in here this year, you know. The blood had the chance at him.
So what's the biggest challenge with hunting a property like this? Is it the wind? Is it the cover? Food? I mean, what is it out there that makes this property difficult?
The wind. We're sitting kind of off the edge of a hill, but it's been cut over and there's 2 ditches, 2 drains come down, and the wind, it can be steady in 1 minute, the next minute it's swirling. So this is where he stays. He won't hardly come out of this thick drain when he's here, so we just gotta hope he comes the right way. Try to stay out of here as much as we can, and it's to the point now we gotta have a little luck.
How long are you planning on sitting in the stand this morning?
The wind's gonna get up to about 20 here, about 10 o'clock. We'll get out of here by then. Go try another spot maybe, or come back again about 1 or 2. I don't know. There was quite a bit of action in there last night, but there's just no begging. The 10 ain't showing up. So I think he's still alive. I just think he's really cautious. You don't run around just everywhere. You only get his picture usually in here. Don't catch him out in the open very often either.
You talk a lot about the 10 or the 12 from last year, but what are the odds of a different deer showing up?
Well, yeah, we're down here where there's not a lot of big highways to kill them, so they could come in from all 4 corners. But I don't know. We've only hunted here about 3 years. Last year there was a giant in here. Never seen before. He was here one day. We were at work. He didn't show back up this year yet, so he probably got busted. Shooting's been to the west on public ground. I guess they're shooting does. Probably anything to be on.
I'm catching just a little bit of a glimpse of your gun back there. Which gun is that?
20 gauge Savage. I've only had it 3 years. I'd like to shoot it more, but since the pandemic, we can't buy shells. So maybe one of these days we'll get the supply chain figured out. I don't know. If not, we're going to be conserving shells for the next 10 years. Only got about 15 of them or 20 at the moment.
I hear of a lot of guys getting that gun in the 20 gauge. Is there a reason you went with that over the 12?
That 12 kicks hard, they say, so they say the 20 shoots more accurate, so.
You killed a pretty big one with that gun a couple of years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I got 170 incher with it. And it was about almost a 100-yard shot. Hit right there. So
What kind of slugs are you shooting in that gun?
I use them Remington expanders, but they're copper. You can't hardly find them anymore. I'm just, they shoot the best of the gun for me. That deer didn't smell us over there. That buck just had her pinned up, probably a little buck. It's all going perfect right over that bird spot. But it's falling up like that. See how it's falling to the ground? What's that? Give us some of your tips and tricks for the rut and for lockdown in particular, which is pretty much what we're in right now. Tips and tricks. Oh man, I just do pretty much what normal people do. Try to hunt funnels. When you think they're really cruising. Which, like you've talked about before, hunting in funnels is feast or famine. You may sit there 3 or 4 times and never see a buck, you may never see a deer, but you got deer watching spots and you got deer killing spots. And a lot of big deer, I think are killed in real tight funnels. You can sit here and hunt places like this where they can go wherever they want and you're eventually going to get lucky. But one come by, but like here, this is like where we're sitting now. We do a lot of deer watching. We see good deer, but they can go 50, 60 yards one way or another. And you ain't gonna kill them. You'll see them, but you ain't gonna kill them. So my thing would be if they're really cruising, getting a tight spot where they gotta come to you. Lockdown, to me, the lockdown is just putting in a time game. You never know when that deer's going to come off a doe and be looking for another one. I typically, try to stay. I was watching a video the other day that Don Higgins was talking about putting stands in places that he only hunts during a lockdown phase. Weird places where they push does out into.
Fence rows, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't
ditches.
I don't do that, but it's a good idea, honestly. What we do during the lockdown is just you put a lot of time in. Like this morning, it's 19 degrees, slight breeze, sunny, and we're not seeing much. But you'd think a day like today there'd be deer all over moving. And it's been slow. But the lockdown, you just got to put in time. It's just all there is to it. You never know You know, sometimes if you can get them on camera, you can get an idea when they get with the doe and when they're coming off a doe. Yesterday morning, every doe I seen had a buck with it, you know, locked down. Then yesterday evening, I seen probably 12 does, not one had a buck on them, and the 3 bucks I seen were cruising. So, you know, I'd say they all lost their does through the middle of the day.
Yeah. I mean, my buck just came off a doe and was looking for another one.
Yeah, you just never know. You know, this time of the year, it's a lot of them does are, you know, ready to breed. So, you know, you're probably gonna have a week of what you think should be prime time that's gonna be slow for you. But you never, like I said, you never know when they're gonna come off a doe looking for another one, and you know, just gotta be there. You're gonna have a lot of slow days, a lot of bad days, but you just gotta grind through it. But I mean, every day ain't gonna be a chasing day where, you know, bucks are cruising, running does everywhere. It's just part of it.
Yeah, very, very few of those days in a year, I feel like.
Yes, you know.
Maybe a handful.
And a working guy, he may get to only experience one good rut day a year, you know, if he can, just depending on when he can get out there and do it. But, you know, like right now, like I said, I'd say we're locked down today too. It's slow. The bucks ain't moving like you think they would, but, I would still, how I would hunt them, you know, because I don't have a whole lot of places where I can get out in a fence row or something, is I would probably just keep hunting my pinch points and stuff like that where you're there when they do come off a doe. You know, where you think they're going to cruise through when they're looking for another one. But that's how I do it. I ain't saying necessarily that's the best way, but during the rut, I'd say a good pinch point is your best bet at all times. You know, whether you're cruising or locked down. But you know, if you got places like right out here, you know, to me that would be a good place for a buck to push a doe out into them grasses and that fence row out there.
Yeah. It's just a big long fence row. It comes down, swings down in here to us. But yeah, like you said, I mean, a buck could find a doe in here in this thicket and push her into that fence row, and they can see everything on both sides of them. They're untouchable out there, really.
Yeah, and like this setup, how we are is, you know, open is throughout there. You can see there's a bunch of fence rows in them fields. Is when they come off a doe, what they're going to want to do is come back in here and look for another one. But the lockdown, there's a lot of sitting and waiting and boring days, but you just gotta keep going. Right? It's not easy. If it's easy, everybody'd kill a good one. But like yesterday, you know, like Chris said, he just, you know, he went to his public spot where he had a tag up, and, you know, it didn't work out. So people come in on him and went in there and killed a buck in an hour. You know, 143-inch 7-pointer. You know, it's just, he just come off a doe and he was cruising through a food plot looking for another. It's just, you know, that this time of year, it's just right place, right time, and really no matter how it's going.
Hunt the does, hunt where you can pinch down the does, and eventually it'll happen. Put enough time in a stand.
And that's what this farm right here really lacks, is a way to pinch down where the does are. And I think, like we talked about earlier, if and when we can get a food source in here, I think it's going to make a world of difference, because them bucks, you'll watch them chasing out in these bean fields. Well, if we had a good food source in the woods right now, you know, a good food plot, I think them does would hold in this woods better than going out in these, you know, cut bean fields. And therefore, you know, if you're holding in there, you know, if you're holding the does in here, obviously you're going to hold the bucks in here instead of sitting out there watching them cruising around these fields. That's, you know, that's a theory. You know, it may not make a difference, you know. But we're going to try it, because I think, even if it don't hold them, you know, real good, it gives them a place, a destination to where they're going instead of...
Bucks are going to be popping in and out of those food plots, checking scent trails on does that have been through there.
You know, well, that, and my theory is you got does on this side of the property, does on that side of the property. Well, if they're coming to these bean fields, there's a bean field there and a bean field here, they're just going to go their way. You know, you get a food source in the middle of here, you know, they're liable to meet in the middle there, then go, you know, if that makes sense.
Staging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
food never hurt anything, so even if it don't work like we think, it's still worth having. But, I don't know, during the rut it's pretty much all about patience and time and capitalizing when you get the chance.
See another one.
Well, it looks like we still have some deer on their feet, but unfortunately we're about out of time here for the first hour stream. We may or may not come back with another hour. If we do, it'll probably be within the next 30 minutes or so. Be sure to subscribe, and you can go on to our channel and look for upcoming live streams, and whenever that upcoming live stream appears, there should be like a notify me or set reminder button, and if you click on that, that will let you know whenever we go live so you don't miss out on anything. And you can always just wait till the stream is over and we will have this video uploaded for you to go back and comment on and whatever you need to do, and we will do our best to try and respond to those comments. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe. We appreciate every one of you that do subscribe and engage with us through our content. It helps us to keep this whole thing running and not just doing it for fun. So yeah, that's going to conclude the first hour stream. Hopefully we'll be back with you, and if things pick up, we might be able to put a buck on the ground today.